All right, everybody. We are back at it again with another MediaMix podcast.
Oh, boy.
And today we're doing the Book of Boba Fett. We're reviewing it. We're not doing it. I'm Jack. To my left, we got...
Nick.
Just go ahead and introduce yourself, dude.
Nick.
That's confusing. And what about across the table? Who do we have over here?
Oh, we got, the reason you all came here. The Star Wars expert, the nerd
Post
with no
Malone.
women. The Big Kahuna, a.k.a. Zach. How you doing?
Zach,
I hope everyone's having a
guys.
good day
It's
today.
Zach.
I'm sorry, but look at how much better that shot looks now.
Yeah.
Now that it's not
Why is
ours.
it not even on me? What
But
are we getting?
If,
What are we doing?
if it wasn't, I'd have to change the way the lighting is because you're getting harsh lighting on the side of Zach's face. But I will say, it looks a lot better because it's it's a little bit lower than at eye level on their shot, but it's closer to a match to ours. I know this is really dumb because I know half of you are just probably.
What Nick is trying to say,
furiously
ladies and gentlemen,
Waiting for us to talk about Book of
thank
Boba
you for
Fett.
tuning in.
What Nick is trying to say is, cue intro music.
If you like what you see here, like, comment, subscribe, and without further ado, I said further right this time. Jack, take it away.
All right, so the Book of Boba Fett,
Boba.
quick little synopsis here. Boba Fett comes into power after he takes out Jabba the Hutt. Wait, he doesn't take out Jabba the Hutt, does he?
No, I mean he's already dead.
Well, it starts
Jabba the
off
Hutt-
being somehow Boba Fett returns.
Yeah. I'm saying, kind of in the storyline, disregarding the flashbacks.
He takes over the syndicate.
Yeah, he kind of,
Takes over the business.
is when he first starts in, the seat of Jabba the Hutt. And throughout the series, we get to see flashbacks of him after his journey out of the Sarlacc pit into the Tusken Raiders. And then also current time problems where he's faced with different syndicates trying to take control of the spice trafficking and protection and stuff like that.
Well, I think it's more of they're trying to bring spice trafficking to the planet.
Yeah, I think it's always been there, but I think they're...
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's always been there, but it's just I don't know, Boba Fett's like, hey, you got to pay for protection, or hey, I'm the boss of these lands now, kind of thing. But anyways, it's that's pretty much the premise of it. He's juggling. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
The
just
series
imagine
shows him
spice is
juggling.
crack cocaine, and
Yeah.
when crack cocaine flows around a city, it usually tends to turn to crap.
Yeah, I mean, the series is juggling between
Arcane.
the past and the present. So it looks like there's two conflicts, but there's only really one.
Oh, sorry. Before
I'm done.
before we keep on going, because Zach brought us a very nice gift. Well, not us, a nice gift. He brought something from his home.
Yeah, thanks, Zach.
He brought this
Yeah.
autographed. Is it okay if I grab it?
Go ahead.
Vicky, you
Okay.
okay, never
He
mind.
brought this autographed photo of Boba
Whoa.
Fett, and it's not the voice actor of Boba Fett now. It's the live action actor from the 1980
The OG. The OG Boba.
The OG
Star Wars.
Boba G.
82.
Jeremy Bullock. He is no longer with us now. but
Unfortunately.
I was able to meet him at one of the Star Wars conventions that they had in Orlando. If you are a big Star Wars fan and you ever have the chance to go to a Star Wars convention, highly, highly, highly recommend it. It is so much fun.
Also, another thing we unfortunately, this one's really cool, but we also have a signed picture of Mark Hamill, or signed picture of Luke from Mark Hamill, or not from.
Yeah,
You understand what I mean?
One of our friends has it.
We do. He doesn't have it anymore.
Why?
Because last time I went over his house, I was like, "Where is it?" And he was like, "Oh, I put it in the garage." Which, So
he banished it to the Shadow Realm.
yeah, no, that photo has been banished to the Shadow Realm of my knowledge.
Oh, that sucks.
Because last time I saw it was on the
No.
floor in his room, and then I was like, I think
No.
that it is going to soon be destroyed.
I'd
No.
actually cry.
That
if I saw
sucks.
that.
Well, it was the
I
same
would
thing
be
with
like,
his
No.
with the lightsaber that he got from the Star Wars convention. That was like $150 to $200, and then it broke because
Well, man, you can still use that to, whap in time.
dude, that thing was hot glued to no extent. It looked like a kindergartner's art project.
But anyways, back to the show that we're reviewing. I don't know. What about your what's your guys' overall thoughts of this show so far? I mean, I thought it was a pretty decent show, you know, besides the fact that not really besides the fact, but you know, where they kind of chapter 5 just turned into Mandalorian season 3 episode 1.
Yeah, but
which is kind of cool. I loved it. I loved it. I'm not saying it was bad.
I didn't at all have a problem with that.
And then chapter
I don't
6
think anyone did.
I don't think anybody did. Chapter 6 was literally just like kind of Mandalorian, kind of just Star Wars.
but it made
I
me.
think, I think it, like chapter 6 was literally just Star Wars.
But it made
It's
me.
fun.
Like
It was
wasn't
fun.
a specific title. It was literally just Star Wars.
But on chapter 5 and like some of chapter 6, it makes you kind of think like a lot of this, like the main part of this show, at least in my opinion, I might be wrong. I think a lot of it was carried by the Mandalorian. Because some of the most exciting parts of this show are
the Darksaber,
with with him.
Grogu, Darksaber,
I
Luke.
would say so. I mean, Boba did have his moments.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
I think. God, I can never say his name right. The actor who plays Boba Fett. To TM.
I don't know how to
Morrison.
pronounce his name.
To-
I still
to-
mess it up.
God, I can't say his name for the life
How do you
of
spell
me.
it?
I couldn't tell you. It's weird, but it's. He did a great job.
No, they did. They all did a really good
Yeah.
job. I especially like. I mean, visual effects was good. Bringing in other Star Wars references. We're not doing this. We're not trying to do this like episode by episode.
No.
We're gonna just try and pick and choose parts.
Yeah.
I think we're just
You know,
talking about
I wasn't a huge fan of Mandalorian season 2. Unfortunately, there were good parts, there were bad parts, but this show, I don't feel like I was as drawn to it, like to go and watch it as I was with Mandalorian. But the thing is it was still like I watched it and I was like, oh, what's the next episode? Oh,
I feel
just-
like
the whole thing about this show is it just hit the spot, man.
No, it was good.
Just everything about it, it just hit
was
the
great.
spot.
it's like a
before we get into like deep spoilers.
Nick's like, I haven't watched yet, so can you guys not spoil it?
No, that's not what I'm saying. This, but like, I think we should start off episodes like, would you recommend people watch this episode? I think that's what we should start off asking.
Oh, 100%.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
yes or no, and then why? Why do you think that?
I will say
So
because
Well, if you want to know what happens after sorry to cut you off. If you want to know what happens after Boba Fett gets dropped into the Sarlacc pit, then yeah, you kind of want to watch the show
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
cool. It's, you know,
it's like what happened to him?
Yeah,
Did he
like,
get
Because we
eaten?
like people who
Nom
read
nom?
books and comics and stuff, you know that he is like you know that he lived,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
you always wanted to see him show up at some point, and he finally just now shows up. And it's like when he showed up in Mandalorian season 2, everyone lost their absolute shit.
That was
I mean,
good.
it was so.
It was a
fun.
really good introduction.
And you know what the really funny thing is that's like Mandalorian season 2 when Boba Fett showed up, he kind of like he stole the show when he showed up.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny that thinking of how like I feel like the Mandalorian got revenge on Boba by showing up in his own show
in his show
and stealing
the
the show.
Yeah. In the last few
I like
episodes.
to think of it as that like kind of that way.
that was really cool.
But earlier
But-
you said that like the show hit the spot, which just made me think of like an analogy, which is going to be stupid. I'm going to be made fun of it, but it's okay. It's kind of like a PB&J. I've never had a bad PB&J,
That's stupid.
but I've never been like that PB&J that I had a month ago was the best PB&J I've ever had.
Well, maybe if you
They've
abstain
always-
from PB&Js for a certain amount of time, then you have
and then I
one,
have
you're
one,
like,
then it'll
oh,
be really
man.
good. But that's the thing. It's like
So
it's been
good.
like it's right there. It's not anything like super good, but it's never gonna be lower than what it has been for my entire
No,
life.
that's a fair analogy. You can never have a bad PB&J.
Like I can have a shitty chicken sandwich, but like PB&J is easy. It's 3 ingredients and milk if you are me.
What are the 3 ingredients?
The peanut butter jelly
No,
and
in the
bread.
analogy.
Peanut butter.
Yeah, how do you relate this to real life? Come on.
Answer it in a DBQ
This is
essay
English
format.
class 101, dude. Come on.
I will say, starting off like immediately, with something that I did find like just kind of like stupid about the show. The like, I don't want to say stupid, but I just was like,
there was one part of the show that I really disliked.
I'm curious.
if
You might be
we-
thinking of the same thing, but like the stupid like cyborg people.
The mods.
the
Are you
Power
talking about the
Rangers,
people with the
God, I
motorcycles?
hated them.
And
What
it
was their? That's like that's
I
one, that's
hated
my
that.
main
I
thing
think
that I
they
looked
looked.
at.
I think they looked.
that I hated.
I think they looked really out of place.
From all the
They did.
Boba Fett I was able to
exactly.
see, that was the
what
worst
are
part.
people? What are cyberpunk looking people like them
And doing
in
it in
Tatooine?
No, but
It makes
to
no
be fair,
sense.
we've seen, yeah, it's stupid for Tatooine. We've seen cyberpunk people in Star Wars, though. It's just this version
Yeah.
of them just feels
Yeah.
so out
that
of
and then in
place.
Tatooine.
They're so out of
In
place. They look like
Tatooine.
Harley Davidson.
And those are
motorbikes.
for people who don't have enough money. Those are extremely nice.
They're shiny on a sandy dirt planet.
that and like
Bro, what are you doing
Yeah,
here?
that and then how they utilize them with the stupid chase scenes.
And the slowest
Where
chase scene
they're
ever.
going like literally 5 miles per hour.
And it
Yeah.
looks
through the
looks
city.
really-
That was the
really bad.
worst
And the-
chase scene I've ever seen.
and
It's
the-
like, dude.
the fact that they're future mopeds makes it worse. Because it looks stupid. It's not like sand speeders where it's like and it's like, oh, that's cool.
Like they're
It's
on a
not.
It
desert
wasn't even
planet. How are they not
they
corroded
did
and
the sand
rusted?
speeders in the flashback
Right.
episode, which was great. They did
Also,
awesome with
They
it.
were like the lamest characters ever.
Yeah.
For real, 100%.
Which brings
And
me
the spin.
There's a yeah.
spin.
You brought up the spin. I
Yes.
saw that.
Spin.
I wrote that down too.
I watched the scene. I didn't notice it because I will be honest. There's parts
Oh my
there was
God.
parts in the show that I was just kind of like, because on the last episode I didn't finish it. I didn't finish the last episode, but I know the parts that are pertinent to it.
So wait, real quick, but for anybody who doesn't really know what we're talking about, this scene is in the final episode, where they're helping out like the Black Wookiee guy just got shot. Forgot
Black Wookiee guy.
what is it? Black Korean or something like
Black
that?
Kyrgyzstan.
I don't think it's that.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Black-
the Wookiee.
Black.
Yeah.
The Wookiee gets shot and he's kind of like limping, so the mods go over and help him, and then I guess 3 bad guys like pop out and start shooting at him, and then there's like 2 things in that scene that kind of like made me be like, okay, what the heck is this? First is the most ridiculous one, which is the mod guy. He's holding on to him, then he sees them, he's facing them, and then he decides to like do a 360 retarded
360
spin move that makes no sense, and then like shoot him like he's like cool or something like that. Everybody thought that was the dumbest thing ever. And then
It was.
also
Really
the Wookiee,
unneeded.
he was like all like hurt and like limping and like holding on to them for support. And then as soon as they got shot at, like I get adrenaline and stuff, but as soon as they started getting shot at, he's just like, I stand up straight now and I pull my gun. I'm able to shoot like properly and like
He does that, really?
I'm fine.
Bruh.
Wookiees are pretty strong though.
Yeah. I'm not saying they're not. I'm not saying adrenaline
I did
is not a
notice what
thing.
you're talking about.
But he looked like
I
he was like
would say, like,
struggling
yeah.
to like walk, and then he's able to just like kind of like stand up
It's
straight and be like, oh shoot,
the
enemies.
cut in between the scenes were very noticeable because it was like it literally went from one scene, but then it cut, and then it was standing up. So I feel like maybe when they were shooting it, they weren't gonna piece it together like that. It just ended up being pieced together.
Is it okay? I know we're still recording. Is it okay if I watch the spin scene really quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we pause really quick? Like stop the recording and then
We'll stop
restart?
right.
Well, don't stop the
now.
recording.
All right. Well, that was funny.
Okay, I was gonna say if you watch it,
And
look at
we're
the Wookiee,
back.
he's like limping and stuff. And then all of a sudden he's like,
Back to
okay, I'm
reality.
good.
We're back to reality. We
That's-
probably don't even have to skip.
That's so dumb.
That was dumb.
I don't remember.
Don't
What is
spin.
the?
That's a good trick.
I will say, as far as like things that this are getting shot or battle scenes in this, I will say the best thing about the Mandalorian and the Boba Fett is giving people armor for 2 reasons. 1, they look cool. 2, the whole like, fucking what's the word? Stereotype that like stormtroopers can't aim is then made like kind of not as, I don't know, say relevant, but like not as
Poignant.
I guess like repetitive. I don't know what the word I'm looking for is.
Monotonous.
You don't see it as much.
no.
So it's not as many scenes of like these highly trained soldiers shooting and missing every shot. And even if you say, okay, the regular stormtroopers aren't that well trained, like the black stormtroopers or whatever they're called, the dark troopers, if they can't hit anything, why the hell are they dark troopers? The good thing about the Mandalorian though is that when you shoot Beskar, it's armor, so you can have a lot of scenes where like
They're actually getting
they'll be in
shot.
cover and they'll take out and they'll get shot and then they'll shoot. So it's like it feels like
they're not missing.
It feels like they're not missing, so it feels like there's some sort of tension, because in every other action movie or action like TV show, you're like, they're not going to hit their shots. That's the good thing about this and Punisher, because Punisher gets shot and he gets hit. It's not just like all Marvel movies and stuff where they'll get hit and they'll be like, ow!
Owie, I'm a super soldier.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like there's some sort of substance and some sort of like...
Yeah, like if they get shot enough, it is detrimental to them, but it's like...
Yeah, but
they can
it's
take
still,
a couple hits before.
It's still really good. Like the scene...
Like that one scene where they both were Boba Fett and the Mandalorian were both, being shot at, and they like couldn't do anything because they were both constantly being shot.
And the best there's
I
one
like scenes like that.
There's one scene, and it's the very first episode of Mandalorian where Mando gets shot, and then immediately, instead of getting shot and he's like, ow, he gets shot, immediately pulls out his gun, and instead of shooting the guy, he shoots the thing and the door closes. That is the coolest scene. But like, it's having those clever moments where it's like, these are people who like have most of their life have been trained to hunt down people and either kill or capture them. So like having that sort of like, I don't know, knee rockets, fucking coolest thing. Didn't have that in all the other movies, but having
all the
him,
gadgets that he had was so freaking cool.
it's so good.
I like the one where he has the wrist-mounted missiles. That
Yes,
just, like,
the
seek
homing
out.
missiles.
But I'm sad
forget
that
what
they
it's
didn't.
called, but
They
it's so
had
sick.
not as many of those scenes in this as they did in Mandalorian. I feel like that was sad, because most of, I mean, I guess it's a give or take, because I really wanted to see the Tusken Raiders. I was really happy about that.
Yeah, I mean,
'Cause
it
you
showed a different side to them.
It expanded them.
I think
showed
like you're sad that they like. I think what a lot of people wanted to see was Boba Fett kind of kicking more ass like he did when he showed up in the Mandalorian. But that wasn't really what the storyline was about.
Right.
It was more of like him kind of going away from that life and more like, becoming
Being
his
a
own
leader.
thing.
Yeah.
But I think that was the thing about Mandalorian, is that in the first season you have Mando or Din Djarin as himself, progressing, but he's still kind of like, I don't know what the best word for it is, but like he's
the
progressing, but he hasn't been affected enough by Baby Yoda to be like as soft as he is in season 2. But I was hoping that for Boba Fett, it would be Boba Fett being ruthless as much as Din Djarin was in season 1, so it would make up for that kind of gap. But anyway,
So-
I mean, yeah.
You just kind of taste weird.
So here's a
What?
here's a scene that I think I remember properly. It's in, again, chapter 7, where everything's going down, where the two big droids are chasing after everybody, and they finally get the shield off of like one droid, and it's about to like, I think it's about to like stomp Mando or something like that. And everybody who was shooting at the droid before just kind of stopped, and they're just like, huh, what's gonna happen here?
uh-oh.
I think I'm thinking about this right. Am I thinking about the right thing, or was
Yeah, I
this two different locations?
It could have been. I mean, it's been a while since I watched it.
Right.
So it's not like fresh in my mind.
Because I remember
I do
thinking, I was
remember
like, bro, what
thinking
are
something
the
like
people
that.
doing? They're just like, they
Yeah.
decided to shoot it when it had shields up, and then as soon as the shields go down, they're like,
Yes, the shields went down in one scene,
What?
and like nobody decided to do
they're like,
anything.
what do I do now, man?
Oh. The droid. BD.
BD
BD was in there.
Had
Yeah.
BD.
and it was so freaking cute.
I was like, oh, my little friend.
Oh my god.
I was so happy that
Is there only one BD? There's not only one BD.
No, there's more than one.
Okay,
BD.
obviously,
Just as how there's more.
People think it was like there's like a theories. because
Obviously,
everything.
yeah.
There's a theory that Sand is actually a Sith Lord, but like
Sand power?
Sand.
Don't
gets
don't
everywhere.
don't. We'll get the Dune people mad, Nick.
Sand power?
Desert spice.
All right, go ahead. What are you saying?
Spice
So
Girls.
it's like So some people do think it might have been BD1 because it had the same broken leg that it did in Fallen Order.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
It did have the same exact
Oh.
on the same leg too.
Yeah.
So people
See,
were like, maybe it was BD1.
that's cool.
That's
That is-
that's kind of neat.
But
That's
I,
cool.
I don't think so. I think it was just a nod to like it.
Maybe.
I
know
don't
what
know.
I
Like
mean?
they do everything for a reason in there.
So when they started off that episode showing him, I'm like, dude, Cal's here. Like
I don't think they're gonna add
like he's
Cal.
gonna show up.
I don't think they're
I
gonna.
think
He's
they will
gonna
one
show
day.
up
I
at
think
some
they will
point.
one day.
He is going to show up at some point. I could guarantee you that. Just because.
I really want him to.
So
Ju-
have
just
you played the
because
game
they've
Jedi
added
Fallen Order?
everything
I
else.
still haven't.
You gotta play it, dude.
It's
so
really
good.
fun.
It's
I keep
so
forgetting
good.
that I own it because we game share.
You haven't played
You'll love it,
two
bro. It's so
games
good.
that are extremely good, which is Red Dead and Fallen Order. Which are two.
I bought Red Dead.
You didn't finish Red Dead.
I
Though.
didn't finish it though.
You need to.
I need to
You
finish
gotta
it.
you gotta play Jedi Fallen
I
Order.
mean,
Before,
I've watched
it's
the
so
entire
good.
cutscene movie, and I've watched like an entire playthrough of Red Dead. But I want to finish it.
Oh,
It's such a good game.
before I forget, that episode with BD in it is the one where they're like fixing the ship.
Right. Yeah.
I may
The Mando episode.
gotta be a little nitpicky, but a lot of that seemed really cringy to me.
What?
Just like
The montage of them fixing the ship.
no, just the mumbo jumbo of like mechanic future galaxy speak. Do you know what I'm talking about? They're like, oh, you gotta
I
get
know
this
exactly
spaceship
what you're
turbo
talking about.
supercharger converter in order to get this. He's like, I'm not gonna find that anywhere. You know how hard those things are to find,
dude,
and it's
all
like,
those hacking and like police crime and justice TV shows where the people are talking all this smart nonsense that logically and realistically makes absolutely no fucking sense is always so annoying.
but it's. I know it's really
So
nitpicky.
not how you know how like normal people feel around.
I guess
car
it's
guys.
true. I guess it's very true. But it seemed really cringy, and I
mean,
feel
it's
like
the
it just
same
went on just a little bit too long. It was just kind of like.
I think it's more of just Dave Filoni just showing off how much Star Wars knowledge he has, because it's like those Star Wars like mumbo jumbo parts
Are
like
real.
are all like real in the Star Wars universe thing. So it's like I'm pretty sure it's just him being like, I know all that. I want to show that.
So I like how they included that ship. So they included something from the Republic ages.
The Naboo Starfighter.
Now,
Yeah.
here's
Dude,
the question.
that's one of my favorite ships. Like when a Lego set comes out with like the Mandalorian's new N1 Starfighter ship, definitely cop it.
Now, here's the question.
That, you know,
What ship would have been better if you were to be able to choose it? This is something fun for the commenters to comment.
at
but-
first I didn't really like that he was getting that ship, right? Like, because it's like he's a bounty hunter, and it's like, how is he gonna bring back like captives and stuff now?
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, it really grew on me seeing him like fly around in and stuff, because I really.
It'd be cool
love
if
that
they
ship.
gave him like a bigger ship too, and then like
Yeah.
made that like as a little, attachment to the bigger ship. So he has
That
like
would've been so cool.
yeah, so you can like go to like different star systems instead of actually landing the bigger ship. It can be like a home, like it can be like an ISS just chilling in the sky.
But I really never liked the Slave One. I know that might
Really?
be an unpopular opinion. I don't like how it's like parked.
very bulky.
It's weird.
I
It's
don't
a
like
little
how
weird.
it's parked.
Like,
It's
it's
an interesting design for a ship, but it's
It's
the
like
fact
the
that
Mantis.
it's a T-pose ship.
You know the Mantis
That
from
is
Fallen Order.
that is true.
They're both like really weird and kind of complex.
But I wish it was like
It's
when
weird
you,
how it's like this the entire time.
when you look at it landed, because it doesn't show it in the. I mean, it kind of does in the first in 4 through 5 or.
Am I thinking
4 and
about the
5
right
or
ship?
5
What
and
ship
6.
is this? Am I thinking about the right
Slave
Boba
One
Fett.
is
Slave One,
Boba Fett
Boba
ship.
Fett ship.
Oh, you don't like Boba Fett's ship?
It's weird because when he sits like this
Yeah.
in it, so it's kind of always been kind of weird for me because you have to get in that, and that just seems really
Getting in
complicated.
that sucks, but it looks hella cool.
But
when
didn't
you're
they
flying in
didn't they show that like it has
when
like its
Jango
own?
flies in it in like episode 2.
That's really.
He looks really cool in it.
But
Like,
something I
when he's at
never
Camino.
something I never realized because they talked about it because they were like ships back in the Republic era that for most small ships they had to have a docking bay in order for them to jump to light speed, and they're like the Naboo ships didn't have to have that. That was cool. That's something that I didn't remember, and I thought that was really cool.
Nerd stuff.
Sorry.
Such a big nerd,
Sorry,
Schneider.
not sorry.
If they had, what's her name ship from Episode 1? If Mando got that ship,
Padme ship?
yeah, Padme ship. If he got Padme
It's in
ship,
Episode
that
2
would
as
be really cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know that's stupid, but it's still all chrome, so it still works.
That that is true.
That'd be dope.
That would be another alternative.
I don't know what that ship's name is.
I think that would be a cooler fit.
I
I'm gonna
guess
look
was
it
just
up.
kind of like the Queen's
like the
thing.
Queen's Ride or something.
The Queen's ride.
Yeah, the Queen's Whip.
Every time I think of that ship, all I can think of is like that one Lego, from the Lego Star Wars, that one cutscene where they just like where like Qui-Gon and like Obi-Wan like break the generator, They like tap it, and then when they get a new one, they just hit it and it just flies away. It's like that's great.
Dude, holy, like, oh my god, it's called the Naboo Royal Starship.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
me
yeah.
see.
I
That's-
figured it'd be something.
that's
actually
dope.
sick looking.
Yeah.
That would have
That's
been
way
dope.
too
for-
like. I feel like that's way too
Nick,
I
throw
feel like
this
that'd
in.
be cool to use that.
tacky
Throw
for
a
a
picture of
bounty
it up.
hunter.
Pop.
Not to the screen, but like when you edit this.
Oh yeah, I need to take this.
It's on.
I don't have my laptop with me.
We'll get it to you. It's fine.
Okay.
No, that's way. I think that's way too like
You think?
posh. Or not posh.
Well, I
but,
mean,
like
It's very
considering,
luxurious.
I mean, it would be aged for a while, so it wouldn't be as shiny.
it
chrome.
wasn't.
It'd be
Yeah, if it
like,
wasn't as
No, I think a
shiny
good
and
one
had
would
a
be the
little wear
Millennium
and tear,
Falcon.
some modifications to it. The base
Hey,
itself looks
Boba.
cool, but it's just like
you want to fly the Millennium Falcon?
Yeah,
that's
it'd
one
be
thing I didn't
fun.
really like about Mando's ship, is how like shiny it was.
You didn't like that? I thought it matched his character. I
Yeah,
always
but
thought that
he
was
starts
really cool.
out. He's like a wear and tear kind of guy. His armor is
It
pretty
matches his
raggedy.
armor.
Well, his
What do you
armor is
mean?
pretty raggedy when you start.
His armor's
The only
shiny.
shiny
His
part
armor's
that he had
shiny.
was his
Over,
helmet.
yeah, but over time.
Over
in the
time, he got
beginning-
the shiny stuff. It was like if he started out with the rinky-dink ship and then upgraded it, then
See, it's
I
like
guess it'd be
I
alright.
love how like I knew as soon as like they showed him flying around that ship that the little dome, the little like droid hole would be for Grogu.
Oh no, you know exactly that
like
it's gonna be for
instantly.
him.
So
Like, instantly knew
talking
that.
about Grogu, what do you guys think about the his decision where he
To choose for.
to choose to go see Mando, then leave
Yeah, so like
Yoda's lightsaber?
on that topic, that was like I love how they ended the episode with him like trying to choose, because it's like people didn't know which route Dave Filoni was actually going to take this show.
That's true.
And there's a whole kind of like theory out there. Like I know you guys didn't watch Rebels, which like you totally should, but like with us, like Ahsoka's there, and there's this whole like thing where she pretty much dies, and then comes back because of this time plot hole that Ezra goes through. And basically, some people thought that Ezra started like a whole new branch.
Mm-hmm.
So some people thought Dave Filoni would take it and alter the three. You know how like we got the 3 new movies that not a lot of people liked.
Right.
So they thought instead of Grogu going with the Mandalorian side, and that would eventually lead to the 3 movies with Rey, that he'd actually pick the lightsaber and start the Jedi Order with Grogu that way, and then end up altering the timeline because it's a different timeline.
So okay, so yeah, no, that does make sense because
That would be
what you were gonna
that'd be
say.
so much better.
For some reason, I wasn't
Alright.
following you as.
Here's
Go ahead.
what I'm thinking about this. Like, I know I've discussed my dislikingness of like for example, in Falcon and Winter Soldier, how they're trying to like replace Captain America or whatever. I don't think anybody really likes that. Like, just leave him. Like, he's dead. Just leave him. Or like Iron Man or any of these like iconic heroes and stuff like that. But like, I don't know, Grogu kind of like stepping up to the plate of being the wise Yoda or whatever, and like taking his lightsaber that's like literally meant for like a gremlin like him.
I mean, it's just a small lightsaber.
Yeah, but
it's a light.
I think
so
that
cool,
I think that
but-
still works. Yeah.
It does, and it's like, I don't know. In my opinion, like, this is the one instance where I was like, okay, that'd be so freaking cool if he like took up the mantle of becoming the new Jedi Order and like taking the lightsaber of like the previous, like what is it? What's the
Jedi
species?
Master.
What's his species though?
I don't
What the-
remember.
You
what
don't
is
know
Yoda?
their species.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Yoda
It's just
species.
it's an unknown rare species that.
Yeah,
nobody
like that'd be
knows anything
so cool, but they didn't take that path, and I don't know, a little
Yeah,
upset about
I,
it.
I
to
do like
say the
how
least.
they're starting to show some flaws with, like Luke. Now, like I hate and like it because
What do you mean
at
by
least
flaws?
it's like you know how like Luke is this perfect, kind of like Jedi, and like in the books he goes on to like not repeat the same mistake that the Jedi Order did, and it's like in this. Like even in the new Disney movies, he like senses darkness in a kid and just tries to slice him in half. And he's like the same guy who like, he's like, oh hey, like he said to Darth Vader, I sense good in you, even though he's murked half the galaxy. And it's like that's the same guy.
Oh, it pisses me off that I don't think Luke should have been written that way. I don't think anybody.
I don't think he should.
I don't think anybody.
That's
really,
the part that pisses me off.
Who directed that? Who created that? Like seriously.
A couple.
Like who thought it was a great idea? Like
around.
How could they not see, like just that entire path? Like
it doesn't.
I want to go off on a tangent of how like
work.
terrible the stupid.
Everybody knows. Everybody
movies,
knows.
Especially the last one where they bring Palpatine back, that literally just voids Vader's like redemption and sacrifice and everything like that, and like his character arc. It's just like, no, that's out the window because Palpatine's still alive. Like,
but like
everything about those movies just makes me so
right?
mad.
With that set aside,
sorry.
No, you're fine. Like I understand it. It is like
it's aggravating. It's aggravating. Like, why would they do that?
But it's like, with that aside, it's like Luke starting to show flaw because he basically just did what the Jedi Order did by making Grogu make a decision by either liking his best friend and going off because he has feelings with him.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, he's connected with them.
Yeah, he's just connected with them. Or just like cut off all feelings. No friends allowed, but you get lightsaber.
I guess that is that is true.
He's just repeating the same exact problem that the whole order had to begin with. And it's like he doesn't do that in the books. In the books he like goes on to like create a new Jedi Order, but that's like, you know, without the flaws of it. But Disney's Luke goes on to become a more flawed character over time, I feel like.
Since we
definitely, you see him in the end.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what I like about it, and also
broken man. Yeah,
that's my point.
Since we are on the topic of Luke, holy crap, does he look good?
Yeah,
Dude,
he looks way better than like Mandalorian.
Listen, a lot of
I love the criticism that they got from this because it's like they got bad criticism from it at the end of Mandalorian season 2, and they're like, okay, if we're going to do this again, we got to make it look good, and they delivered.
No, they fixed it.
They fixed it very well.
To be fair,
I thought we didn't even see Luke's face in the end of Mandalorian.
No, you
do.
Did we? Do.
No,
it's
you do.
Awful.
You never saw it?
I did. I can't remember.
Well, I'm not gonna get it.
Like,
I'll look at it
I
a
didn't
little
think
bit.
it was that bad, but like
it's so uncanny.
It was. I think
it just crept over the uncanny line. My bad.
No, you're good.
But
it's something I was gonna say. The main issue was like the feathering around the face, but whatever. But to be fair, Corridor Digital did do a video on it and kind of fixed it. But like, not only did it look like him, like I mean, you obviously in some motions you can tell like the face or the eyes or something very small things. Like you can be like obviously, and your brain obviously is like this isn't Mark Hamill because you know like if it was perfect, yeah,
that's him.
If it was perfect,
I don't think it was terrible.
then you have to see it moving. If it was perfect, then maybe you would have been like, oh yeah, but like not only did they find old clips of it, they didn't take like an impersonator. Like if I'm not mistaken, his voice lines, because you can tell on like the difference of like the audio capture or whatever, when Ahsoka talks and then when Luke talks, you can tell they're in two different kind of like recordings, because Luke's I think is taken from old footage of Mark Hamill.
Really?
From the other episodes. If you watch it and you listen to it, you can tell, or at least I can tell. I might be wrong about this.
I mean, I didn't even notice.
If
so
somebody,
fucking kudos.
If
to
somebody on the book,
like it looked great though. I mean, honestly,
it looked good,
and it sounded good.
It sounded good.
Isn't Mark Hamill like a voice actor? Couldn't he just do like
right?
He does voice acting.
But you have to understand, if you're doing, Mark Hamill was how old? 22, 23? No.
He was young.
He was in his 20s. He was in his 20s when he did this, when he did episode 4 through 6, but he's now, I don't know, as old as my dad, 60 something. No, he's in his 60s.
I thought he was like 50 or something.
His voice has been changed so much, but the thing is, you can de-age a face, but you can't de-age a voice. Yeah. It's impossible to do. So him trying to do an impersonation, you could find an impersonator for him, but it's still going to be... This
wasn't actually Mark Hamill, was it?
As the stand-in, like the physical?
No.
they probably found like a lookalike and did a deep fake, or they did Mark Hamill and de-aged him to such an extent that like
they
That's
had
what I saw in the
him come in
caption.
for that
Pretty sure it was
stuff,
a
the
deep
de-aging.
But I think they did a
Deep
deep
fake.
fake
Pretty
as
sure it's
well.
deep fake.
He wasn't the actual stand-in model.
Yeah, but they did a really good job. They did a
yeah.
really good mash,
He did really good.
and they didn't have a lot of scenes of him. They didn't have like an overabundant amount of scenes for him talking. They would have a lot of like over the shoulder or like not completely like his face, which is really good because if you have less scenes of seeing his face talking, your brain is just like, I don't know, not seeing it makes you think it's more real.
Yeah,
They did a really good job.
Your brain will fill in the blanks.
But then what I find funny is watching it and he's building the temple. I didn't recognize the temple until I really thought about it. And then it's the same temple that Ben Solo sets
Yeah,
on fire, or Kylo Ren
is.
sets on fire. So they're building this big temple. You know, like the temple that they're building, like all the robots are building? Yeah, that's the same temple that like Luke trains all the Jedi at and he trains Ben
Oh.
Solo at, and then he turns into Kylo Ren and then sets it on fire. Like, how shitty must that feel?
pretty bad.
I mean, to be honest, he didn't build it by hand. The robots did.
That is true.
So I guess it wasn't that big.
But he built it with his money.
He didn't have any money. Well, maybe he
Still,
did.
Who
Money
knows?
just...
Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, we talked a
Oh,
lot
yeah,
about.
Holy crap. Well, I mean, this is the Book of Boba Fett.
It is the
still-
Book of
it is
Boba
Book of
Fett.
Boba Fett.
It's just Book
But
of Boba
I
Fett.
feel like the things that made this show so good, unfortunately, weren't Boba Fett. Oh, I thought of something.
Now the thing is, like on the thing with like what makes the show really good, is that it took so much from the outside universe and shoved it all into one show.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they had
Oh.
you got the actor that played Jango Fett and now he's Boba Fett. I mean, that's just cool. You got Cad Bane showing up, one of the most badass characters from the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch. He shows up and his arc finally ends, and that ended so satisfyingly that I just loved it. They have Luke and Grogu and the Mandalorian showing up. They have these other bounty hunters showing up. I mean, they just had so much stuff going on all in one
Right,
place.
which was good. And then Ahsoka. But-
And Ahsoka.
So remember back to our episode 5 podcast?
Sure.
Remember when I talked about how there's a scene where Han Solo, he's like going out in the blizzard and he says, "I'll see you in hell." So like, which makes you think like, okay, that's kind of a weird thing to say when you're in a galaxy far, far away. Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah.
So there's a lot of scenes with like, Boba Fett's actor where he says things that you're like, I mean, I guess. Him using the word mate is really weird.
Mate?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's not Australian, so it's, I don't know. That's something that has always been weird to me. Like, in a galaxy far, far away, there's still things that happen, but, like, they don't have...
I mean, you could always be like, hey, it's a thing that people on Tatooine say.
But that's not... I mean, it's not just mate. Like, he says some other things that are very much like, I guess.
Every universe has their version of
So-
Australia.
I guess.
Yeah.
Why is Tatooine so like, I don't know, gone back to in Star Wars? Like,
Well, I mean, it was,
It's an interesting planet.
it was here because
It's-
that's where Jabba's palace was. I mean, they
Yeah,
couldn't have it anywhere else.
that's true. That's true. I just feel like I don't know. I feel like in the past lot of Star Wars films and shows, I've been seeing a lot of Tatooine, and to me, it's just like a boring place. It's just sand and like Poe says, it's just I forgot how he actually says it, but he's just like, what's there? It's just sand and sadness.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sadness.
Yeah.
I mean, in a lot of the other shows, they really don't. Like Clone Wars, they go to a ton of different planets, and I'm
That's
pretty
good.
sure Tatooine doesn't
Yeah.
really show up.
All
And I guess even the
Um,
Mandalorian, like he goes to like a lot of other places. But
Dude, Alderaan as a planet to go to. Oh, that would be so cool.
what about the one in the end of Revenge of the Sith? Like, what's that planet called again?
Mustafar?
Yeah, like, I want to go to Mustafar. That'd be
Lava.
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
That actually might show up in like the Obi-Wan show.
I
Because that's
hope
where
so.
Vader's temple is.
Dude, I'm
Oh,
so excited
yeah.
for that show, bro. I'm so excited. What is it, May 28th?
I don't think it's farther.
Huh?
I think it's farther.
No, I
No, it's May 20th.
Is
I
it
posted
May?
about it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
they
So it's May.
actually revealed it.
yeah. I wish it was May the 4th, but whatever.
Oh, I know what I was thinking
How
of.
dare they.
Yeah.
I know this sounds stupid, but like I know this is really dumb, but like him being like water. I don't know. I always find it to be weird.
Be
that,
water,
like,
my friend.
I find it weird how it's like
What?
there's some words that transfer over from a galaxy far, far away, and like water. I don't know why that's such a weird.
You think they shouldn't be saying water?
I feel like it would be called something else.
Still a.
I know that
yes.
sounds.
Thank you for this
H2O.
agua.
I know it sounds really dumb, but like
What would they call it?
I mean, why do they speak English?
Spice?
they made their own alphabet. How is?
Why do they speak English?
I guess that's true.
Yeah, I don't know. It's obviously
They don't wear underwear in space. That's what George Lucas always said.
Why do they call them
It was
ships?
basically just an excuse to get Carrie Fisher to not wear a bra under her thing, but like
Why is
don't
it
wear
called,
underwear. No underwear.
you
in
serious?
space.
Why is it called
I
Star
mean, I don't
Destroyer,
know. I would
which
assume
insinuates
so.
that they call stars instead of giant
balls
light
of
orbs? I don't know.
Oh, can we just take a second to appreciate that we got to hear the one type of bomb go off again in the Sarlacc pit?
That was kind of cool. I like that bomb. That was really cool. They had that in
that
Solo.
bomb is so satisfying.
Do you know
the
what we were talking about?
explosion.
The one that kind of like poops out, falls in the star like
Oh
that.
yeah, the one where it like explodes and like comes back in. or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's like,
Yeah.
I forgot what
Isn't
it's
that in
called. It's called
Battlefront?
something.
I don't know.
It is in Battlefront.
I love
Yeah,
it.
you hear it all the time
That
if you
was
play that.
cool.
Neo.
How is that
It's like
Sarlacc
a
still
grab date
alive?
or something.
It's
like,
dead.
No, but remember when the Boba was like over it and like trying to get his stuff out of it, or whatever he left in there? It like attached to it. It was like, come here. He tried to like pull the ship down into the.
Oh, sorry. Something that I found cool. You know in episode 5.
Is it dead?
Sorry, not episode 5. In episode 6, when Lando is getting grabbed by the Snarlack, Han Solo shoots it. If you look in the background, you can see the tentacle that was shot off next to the Snarlack pit.
Oh really?
Yeah. That was really cool. I saw that and I was like, hey, look at that. So
It's attention to detail right there.
it is attention to detail.
Wait, explain to me so the Sarlacc wasn't dead when Boba escaped.
No.
It. Oh, so I mean, because it takes like 1,000 years for it to like devour you or something like that.
I mean, it takes like 700 years for it to digest you. So obviously it's going to be, huh?
I don't know.
It takes a long time for it to digest you. So
That
like,
doesn't
obviously.
sound bad.
I thought it just wasn't digesting him because of his Beskar armor. The
Well,
acid
yeah.
wasn't burning him.
But
That means the acid is really weak.
Well, and he also couldn't breathe in there too because he had to go
Yeah.
like steal the stormtroopers like oxygen supply,
which
yeah.
I didn't know that stormtroopers
You must carve
had.
it out from the
Yes, they
inside.
do, yeah.
Like in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, they do have that. Well, how are you gonna breathe in that damn helmet?
It's true. Something
That
that
you can't see out of them.
something that I did find I don't want to say annoying, but like what's her name? With the pew pew with the rifle.
Yeah, with the pew pew. Yeah,
The girl.
Fennec?
I don't know her. Yes, Fennec.
Fennec
I just
Shan.
her character is just like whatever.
She strikes me as like a like she could turn evil kind of character
A lot of
eventually.
people find her hot.
I mean,
You know that actor's like 50?
I don't.
Well, do you
Hot
guys
mama.
I thought she looked a lot younger than her actual age. I found that
think?
kind of
What does she strike you guys as though? Does she strike you guys as like a
Gemini.
okay?
Definitely an asparagus.
I was thinking more of like an aquarium, but whatever. No, like she strikes me as like eventually she could like
Material girl.
she could be evil. Like I don't know. Like she just seems like
I don't get that. I don't get
that's
that
just that's the vibe I'm getting.
vibe. I
Like,
get
she's like
loyal side person.
I don't know because I feel like she
Psycho.
always tries to give Boba like I don't know not
The biz.
bad advice or the biz, but like or kind of like the biz like just straightforward like hey go kill these guys to prove a point and like and you'll be like you'll prove your point that you can rule and he's like no we can do it this other way that's not involving killing these guys like I think I can't even. I don't want to bring up examples. I might be wrong, but I thought with like
Here's the biz,
I thought with like
bitch.
the mods when he
Suck
first
these
met him, like I thought she wanted to like kill them.
She
And did she? Yeah. And then he was like, "No, we'll just hire him or whatever." So like,
Or I don't know if she wanted to kill him or just make him like leave.
I don't know, something like that.
Something
But I feel
like
like she
that.
takes the more like pessimistic and like darker route
Just
to like
easy.
dealing with things than
Real-
Boba,
a-
who's like,
she's like a realist.
It's because she's bounty hunter, you know.
so is
Yeah.
he.
So
Yeah, but he's like ex bounty hunter.
He's
Have you
Stop.
guys talked about Cad Bane yet?
Kind
Yeah.
of.
Like mentioned.
But there's not a lot to talk about him. He's blue.
It made me really want after I
Some
saw
people have
his
problems
scenes.
with how like pale he was.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's because he's super old.
Yeah,
Dylan-
I
I
was
mean,
like,
like so it's
it
like
makes sense.
just to like I don't want to like make excuses for them. Like maybe if they didn't have this in mind and they made him that pale, then like yeah, maybe then it did look kind of bad. But I think they had this in mind, and it's like Cad Bane's species is like 70 is like 120 for us, and he's like 80 something. So he's old. So of course he's probably gonna look a little pale. I thought he looked pretty awesome.
I thought he did too. I love the scene where they had the showdown when he first comes in, like the Western showdown, cowboy
when
showdown.
he first showed up, I'm like, oh my god, this is literally the best thing ever. But at the same time, I'm like, no, because it's like he's now stepping like toe to toe with the what's his name, the mayor, the warden.
Yeah, the
What's his name?
I forgot his name. We know what you're talking about.
But it's like, yeah, him. And he's like, I like that character a lot. And it's like they brought him back in this show, and I'm like, yes, he's gonna. They're gonna like have like an Avengers Endgame type style to have all these guys show up for Boba at the end. And then
Except
it's
for
like
him.
Cad Bane's just like, nope. And he just like lays into him, and the other guy just got completely effed.
I feel like that if that other
I'm
guy
like-
wasn't there, then the situation would have gone a completely different route. Because
Probably.
the warden guy was like, I feel like he was just like, okay, well, you know, whatever. Like he's gonna do what he's gonna do, but he's just gonna say whatever to avoid conflict. But the other guy was
Right.
like, what are you doing here? You can't be. I'm gonna kill you. And then the Cad Bane's like, nope.
Yeah.
Like,
And it's like I
can't-
like how
nuts.
even in the end showdown between him and Boba, he still has the upper hand on Boba. Like he still shoots Boba first
yeah.
in the handoff, and it's like there is this deleted Clone Wars scene that was supposed to happen in the last season, but they cut it. But it's like half animated because it's like it got cut.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like kind of half animated because they have the voice lines in it, and it was just not fully done.
Right. Yeah.
But if you watch it, it's like Boba, you know, there's arcs in the Clone Wars with Boba Fett and some bounty hunters. And then Cad Bane is in that, you know, in those arcs as well. And so it eventually ends with them. You know how there's like a dent in Boba Fett's head? Like I'm pretty sure on the picture there's
Yeah.
even a dent. It shows how he gets that dent. And basically Cad Bane and him have a showdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Cad Bane, they shoot each other. And the scene just ends with Cad Bane's hat floating down and sitting in the sand. And then it pans to Boba Fett's helmet just sitting there with the dent smoking.
Oh, really?
And people thought we're going to get that scene, but like something like that now.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that was kind of like that.
That's cool.
I mean, he shot him in like a weak spot, like where his vest
Yeah,
guard
well, it's like
wasn't.
he already
Yeah.
has the dent. So that scene did technically happen.
Yeah.
It just was never shown. But like, you know, in canon it happened.
So a
I
lot
like,
of
I like the scene where Cad Bane's like, Boba Fett is a cold-blooded killer.
yeah, and then he kills two
Proceeds
people.
to cold-blooded kill two people.
Well, he's like,
How
well,
one
I
guy
never
with
said I.
bullets.
He's like,
Plus,
well,
he
I never
works
said
for
I
the
wasn't.
Separatists.
I understand.
Bane murks people, man. I mean, he even murks Jedis.
I understand.
Yeah, no,
in-
he
in the Clone
obliterates Jedi's.
I
I gotta watch
understand
the Clone
people.
Wars.
I understand people had a complaint about like how he looked because like his face was kind of like squished, and then they had like an altered version of it that's like this is what it should look like, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
to be fair, Count Dooku looks like
Yeah,
he had his head smashed in a
Count
door
Dooku
jam.
literally looks like a pencil
Yeah, I
in
mean,
the
like
Clone
if you
Wars.
look at like Emperor
has, like, a
Palpatine, he has
banana-shaped
literally
face,
a nut chin.
dude.
Like, I mean, he has a butt chin.
And then
His
like,
Looks like a
face-
banana, bro.
His face structure is like this.
and then
It's
freaking
a long
yeah, and
rectangle.
Like
Obi-Wan's
the Clone Wars like art style is super dramatic.
Yeah, and then Obi-Wan's
It's just like
Obi-Wan's beard looks like a door wedge. Like, yeah, it looks terrible, but like keep in mind you have to adapt it to what it's actually going to look like. So in all reality, I don't really have a problem with it.
Yeah, I think the only problem
thought it
that I
looked good.
would have had is the skin color, but then it's like at the same
He's
time that's
old.
acceptable to me because he's super old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even like old. He's
You don't-
he's like
you don't-
actually grandpa.
You don't hear
Yeah.
people
Like
complaining about
ashes.
Harrison Ford like, his hair's gray. Yeah, because he's fucking 70 when The Force Awakens came out.
But I mean,
He's
I'm
old.
just super excited that they brought such an awesome character to the big screen. Like that's always so fun.
Something I am sad about, I really wish that like it happened, but like I knew it wasn't, but I was really hoping that like for the end of Boba Fett, like for it, I was hoping that when when Luke gave him the choice, I was hoping that he'd fly him there himself, and then like go help Boba Fett and all of them like with it, and then like have a lightsaber like.
Yeah, no, Anakin's
like-
no. Or Anakin.
I think
Luke.
it was more of a way to keep Luke and Boba Fett separate.
I
'Cause
don't.
who knows how that?
Oh,
would
that's
work out.
true because he
Because
did.
Last time they met, you know how that ended.
Yeah, that's a
so
good point.
it's like,
That'd been cool if they did show like an interaction between them two.
yeah, but I think they really wanted to use Luke as less as
As
possible.
least as I know,
Because
but
it's like they didn't even show him driving back. I mean, they straight up had R2
R2
fly
fly
the ship
him.
back.
I just wish
And it's
that.
just like, okay.
I wish that they had that scene because that would be so cool.
I'm just kind of happy with what we got.
Nah,
I mean, I'm satisfied.
I will
with
take.
that.
I will take what I got, but I will say that there were
I mean,
missed opportunities.
Literally, like, oh my god, I can't remember his name. I know Dave Filoni, but you know the guy who plays as Happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
he's also a director and screenwriter that does all
Yeah.
the Star Wars stuff.
That's cool.
And it's like them two together. I love it. And it's just like in this show,
What
I
about
feel
Seth
like they just
Rogen, though.
You shut up about him.
Donkey Kong.
You're so close to losing your speaking rights.
I'm sorry.
And that's coming from Nick,
Mute his mic.
who says random shit all the time.
Somebody's got to do
That's
it.
pretty bad, Jack. You got Nick.
That is
talking
true.
About
Somebody's
Mute
got to
your
do
mic.
it. Can we get to the ratings?
So
Oh,
yeah, I was about to
I
bring
just
that up.
wanted to
I think
touch
we're
on one more
approaching
thing.
the ratings
Before I
time.
forget, because we have 6 minutes before an hour,
Okay.
and we could hear this up because
Yeah.
we've been here for a while. And it's late recording, but whatever.
It's 12.
I don't know.
o'clock.
I don't know if it was in Rebels. I don't know if it was in Clone Wars because unfortunately I didn't watch the shows, and you guys can rip me a new one in the comments if you really want to, but I'm not gonna read them anyway.
Oh, come on.
But were the twins ever shown before, or are they new?
Twins.
The Jabba the Hutt.
Jabba the Hutt's family.
Oh,
Cousins or whatever.
I know there was
there's a lot of Hutt family.
I think so, yeah.
there is a lot of Hutt family, but
I don't know
think
if specifically
You
them
no,
two,
you see them in the Clone Wars movie, Star Wars: The Clone Wars
Okay.
movie that started off the Clone Wars series.
But that's still good.
I don't know about that.
No, you do,
I
you
don't
do.
know.
I remember there was a scene where it was a Hutt smoking
I do remember.
some.
There's a lot of
some
Hutt family,
drugs.
Can we
and-
review
yeah.
the different Star Wars like? Frick, what was it again? It was like the animated films that came out
Yeah.
like a long time
Visions?
ago.
Not
No,
Visions.
not
like the old Clone Wars animation.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like
Like
that shit goes hard.
Yes, the ones
Oh,
that
you mean
showed
the-
like Grievous being like a complete badass.
The one that was-
And it shows like
the same
Yes.
the same guys who animated Samurai Jack.
it shows
yeah,
Mace
that's
Windu
the
just
style.
being
Yeah.
an absolute menace.
Oh my
with his
dude,
fists.
we got to review those. Those
that
are
one,
so
that one
good.
was, that one was good. I like
Top
those.
tier.
I think those were kind of
Like,
better.
it showed how feared Grievous was.
But it was
the
also
entire
a
time.
better
That and it showed badass clones.
it was also a
Yeah.
Clones do have badass moments.
it was a better show of the force.
I repeat,
of,
we are over.
also having oh god, I forgot his name. I'm blanking on his name. Samuel L. Jackson.
What Mace Windu?
It showed more of Mace Windu being a ruthless Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It showed his dark side tendencies.
before I forget, ruthless Mace Windu. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Have you seen the extended cut of Jango Fett's death? Of what it was supposed to be?
No.
It
No,
was
but I
supposed
heard
to
it was
be.
supposed to be brutal.
It was supposed to be him slicing his blaster, slicing one arm off, slicing the other arm off, and then his head.
Jeez.
Rather than blaster head, it was both limbs
did this?
and his head. No, it was like
It was like the
Who did this to him?
Scene.
it was a cutscene. So it was like a blue screen of like, because what it is it's the first shot where he's like hitting the blaster, and then it cuts to the shot of him like doing this to another shot. But what it was supposed to be an extended shot of him going blaster, arm, and then cutting to the head getting cut off.
Who did this to him?
Mace Windu.
Mace Windu was on
Yeah.
the kill.
No,
Yeah,
in episode
there's
two.
a whole arc in Clone Wars where like little Boba tries to like assassinate Mace Windu a lot.
Our producer over here is falling asleep because it's pretty late at night. Not because it's
Okay.
boring, because it's pretty late at night.
Let's
So
just jump right
there-
into the reviews.
Well,
I will
I
tally
wanted
them
to hit
up.
on one more thing.
No!
One more thing. We didn't talk. I mean, it's important. The
Fine,
end-
fine,
the
fine,
end
Leave
credit
it,
scene-
leave it on Zach to let him just.
Did I even watch the end credit scene?
I mean, there's an end credit scene. I feel like we have to talk about that just like for a second.
What is it
Like,
again?
Before we
Explain
hit
it.
the review. So basically, it's just it's short. It's short. It's just like it shows the guy that I can't name, like the warden, in the Bacta tank.
Yeah.
It's him in the tank.
Oh, really? I didn't watch the end credit scene then.
And then it shows the person that he took Finnick to like the like robot kind of
The mod specialist.
the mod specialist.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
shows her opening the Bacta tank.
Oh.
So and that's how it just ends like that.
It's kind of neat.
I was gonna say I didn't think the
And
one
I'm like,
died.
I first watched it and I'm like, okay, I know who's in the tank, but like, who the hell is that? It was just some random lady, and it's like you have
Yeah.
to like actually
Pay attention.
go back
Yep.
and like look at it. And
That's
it's
cool.
like, oh, okay, like,
That's
got
cool.
it.
All right.
So let's jump into the
So-
ratings. I'm going to tally up the ratings out of 10 for all of you and do the average
Okay.
like Jack does.
Let's start.
Okay.
Let's
opposite.
start with Jack.
I give it a 8 out of 10.
All
I
right.
thought it was great. That's all I gotta say though.
An 8.
Thought it was great.
Starting up strong.
I will
love
have
the
to.
Darksaber.
I'll have to give it the same because it's like the spin immediately knocks off a point. But also the other.
The whole mod's knocked off
But there
like
was-
a point and a half.
But there was just some parts
Everything
that
else
were
was
like
great.
either lengthy or kind of boring or like
It's
kind
like-
of.
Do you think the
annoying.
fact that the show relies on so many outside sources like the Mandalorian, Ahsoka, Luke Skywalker, do you think without those things the show would stand on its own?
yes, but I thought it was also like great that they added it.
I think it
helped
needed
Yeah,
it.
it
Yeah.
helps it. But
I mean, it's
does it
overlapping
over rely
story.
on it?
I don't think the show can go lower than an 8 just because of.
No, because just the
Everything else?
beginning 4 episodes were like amazing in my opinion. Where it was like flashing back from when he got out of the Sarlacc pit to what he's doing in today's world.
Yeah.
And it's
And-
like if it makes you feel kind of sour that it's like they had a whole episode for the Mandalorian. Keep in mind that this was supposed to be a 6-episode series, and they actually they made it to 7 and added an episode just so it's like
Yeah.
they didn't take away from Boba Fett. They only added to the series
Yeah,
It's actually
awesome.
cool though. Yeah.
to keep that in mind. But
All right.
So
Nick,
so Zach.
did you not give yours?
what?
You have to give yours. We're going in order.
Well, here's the thing, because I haven't watched the entire show. I've watched most of the show, not the entire show, so I wouldn't feel comfortable giving like a rating
It's like
for
so.
it.
Yeah, I only watched like one episode, but
I watched most of the show. Don't get me wrong.
He brought an opinion to.
I brought opinions. I brought questions. So I feel like I was able to sit in and talk with you guys.
Okay.
But I haven't watched the entire show, so I don't want to give a rating.
Okay.
I'd rather do
what didn't
the
you
three
watch?
of
Real
you
quick,
guys.
what episode did you not watch?
Like the last couple of episodes.
Couple
and then
meaning
I only
two?
watched I watched like episodes like 1 through 4. I
So
watched
you
parts
watched
of
like half of it.
and then so yeah, I didn't watch the entire show, but I watched
Damn
a
it, Nick.
considerable amount of the show.
Okay.
Zach,
I mean, Boba Fett riding a Rancor.
Lit.
Can't
I
fucking
did
beat
see
that.
that.
Like
I
a
cannot
bantha.
beat that. That is so cool. And then Boba Fett facing down Cad Bane, awesome.
I saw that.
Grogu literally being
Did you?
the boss that he is.
think so.
Oh yeah.
Doing the swag walk,
His pimp
The plug walk.
pimp walk.
His
yeah.
pimp chimpin' walk.
Hip bump jumping. All right.
That was really good.
So what is the?
So what did you
dude.
give it?
What's the Zach rating?
I keep thinking about that damn spin.
I know, like we said, the mods just
The
kind of
three,
deduct.
see, he could have even did a cool like Han Solo kind of like that.
Or you could have done like an actual cool spin where he like jumps in the air and he does like a sideways spin.
That'd
and
be
goes,
even more. That'd be even more over the top and stupid.
no matter what.
But if he
it
did
was-
it to dodge like a laser, it would have been more practical. In this case, he literally just did a 360.
Literally, if it was-
shot,
if it was
using
like the-
FaZe Clan.
if it was the Han Solo where he pulls his blaster out, or like if he was like dodging and like one shoulder went back to dodge a blaster and in the other hand he's pulling it out and shooting it, that would look good. But any other one, if he like jumped,
He literally
like
360
if he dolphin dived on the ground and was like pew, like that would be just as bad, if not just a little bit better than the spin. I think you knock off a point for the spin.
A point. See, that's where I'm struggling. I don't know if I want to knock off half a point or a whole
Knock
point.
off a whole point.
I'm not even just saying because of the spin. I'm just
Well,
saying
it's
because
like-
the mods in general.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't mean just the spin, but it's like all these outs. See, like having watched Clone Wars, Rebels, and like all of that really helps this show a lot. Like I know you don't have to watch those shows, but like watching them, I feel like really added on to this show. So like me being the only one who has watched them, I feel like I want to give it like. I'm gonna say it 9.5, baby. I'm
Okay.
giving it a 9.5.
Wow.
That's
not
fair.
bad.
Yeah, I can't
I
disagree
just-
with that.
We have to
I
have
just love
have an even split. People who thought it was good and people who thought it was
And it's like
very good or even great.
this is one of the rare occasions where I could really understand why people thought it might have not been so great. But I personally loved it. I just thought it was cool.
I hope that Obi-Wan will be.
Even better.
But here's the thing: if you compare it to the other Disney Plus series, if you compare it to Marvel, I think it holds up better and is more of like an
definitely.
even rather than like a, oh, this is kind of good. It's like, it's not like you watch it and you're like, I don't want to watch the next episode, but I have a podcast that I got to do, so I have to watch the next episode of Poopy
It's kind of how I
Marvel.
felt about Hawkeye a little bit.
Maybe not even Hawkeye, but like even watching like some of Falcon Winter Soldier or even like Loki, I'm like, I don't want to watch the next freaking episode. I don't care that it's Wednesday.
See, me and you, Ben, I loved Loki. I couldn't wait for the
like
next episode. But Captain America Winter Soldier, I could understand.
But anyway, besides that, I think it holds up better and it's good. And Nick has the final rating, which I can see.
Which is it's an 8.5 out of 10.
So
Let's go
MediaMix
with
gives
that.
it an 8.5 out of 10. If you have a rating or
Let us know
no.
your own rating in the comments. What would you rate it out of 10?
I was gonna say if you have any other idea for the new Mandalorian ship, since his other cool ship was blown up, if you had any other suggestions from the Star Wars universe of what a new ship would be, that would be kind of cool. Please comment, like, subscribe.
The Cowboy Bebop ship.
We do have other. Shut up. We do have other.
Platforms where we upload.
Yes, we do have other platforms that
Check
we
out
do
our
on.
audio platforms, Spotify,
Check out our Instagram.
yeah.
You can check out our link tree. It's
Zach
all there.
handles our Twitter, which actually has been blowing up recently, which was very nice. Thank you, Zach.
Yeah, we're at like 80 now.
And if I ever manage to get it done, because I do constant amount of break dancing at home and just I cannot fit in editing when I'm breaking it down like a
Bussin' a move.
bussin' a move.
Bussin' a move and bussin'.
He hits the nay a lot.
But eventually we will have multiplayer. Eventually Zach and I will. Well, Zach and I. Eventually,
It'll happen at some
eventually I will figure out how to record the complete saga. But with that said,
Yeah, I mean, if we wait too long, we might just do the new game.
okay.
That could
Yeah.
With that said, everyone have a great day, and we will see you later. Bye.
Peace out.
This has been a media.